All right, welcome out, sports fans. It's Saturday afternoon, and here we are, Gabe Sports Podcast 2025, coming here to kind of recap last night's game, NCAA playoff, Cotton Bowl. It was Texas taking on Ohio State, and of course, I predicted that the Texas Longhorns would win. I'm a Longhorn fan. I've been one for quite some time, and I was excited and a little nervous about the game. So I just wanted to spend a little bit of time here to talk a little bit about the game, recap it, and kind of give you my thoughts on how I saw the game. Again, when I say these things, it's just my thoughts. There's no truth to what I'm saying, or there may be a little bit of truth, but it's all in my opinion and what I think. And then I'll tell you what I was hoping would happen. But before the Texas Ohio State game, there was a game, Penn State, Notre Dame. My prediction, I don't know if I can't remember if I picked a team because I remember thinking it was going to be a very close game. I know I wanted Notre Dame to win, and they did, and they'll be in a championship game. So I'm excited for them. But it was going to be a close game because I knew Penn State had a really good defense. Both quarterbacks were really good. I saw the game off and on, pretty much. And I was glad to see Notre Dame won. Penn State, a heck of a team this year. So I was sad to see them lose, but I was happy to see that Notre Dame won. And I'm going to be rooting for them in the championship game coming up here in about a week or so. The Texas Ohio State game that was played last night, I saw that from beginning to end, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about that game and give you my thoughts. I wrote a little thing, something on my Facebook page on Gabe Sports on my Facebook page, and I talked a bit about Ohio State and Texas, and so talking to a lot of people that were concerned that Texas wasn't going to be able to compete, that they were going to get blown out, and I can understand why people thought that. Ohio State, after they lost to Michigan, I thought, oh my God, how could you lose to Michigan? I mean, like they are they're kind of like in a rebuilding stage, so to speak. They're not the typical Michigan team that we're accustomed to seeing, and so for Ohio State to lose that game, I questioned. I thought, man, they're gonna be one and done in the playoffs. They did not look very good whatsoever. But sometimes when you lose to a team like that, it wakes you up. And it woke up Ohio State. I mean, they played Tennessee and Oregon in the playoffs, two really good programs, and they just wiped them completely out, right? Like there was just no way those teams had a chance to beat Ohio State. They just looked like a different team. They looked like a team that a lot of people thought, okay, this is the team we expected to see during the season, right? And so they were on a high coming into this game. I mean, and when people were saying they're going to blow Texas out, I thought, yeah, that's a possibility, a really good possibility because of the way they had been playing the prior two games in the playoffs. And then looking at Texas, the way they beat Clemson and Arizona State, in my opinion, I thought we were going to blow out Arizona State, and we didn't. And it came to a fourth, I believe, in 13 that we needed to convert just to take it into overtime, and we did. So I wasn't surprised. Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback, I think. This team is very talented, but just that it came down to that play, and if we don't convert that play, Arizona beats us, I think would have been a disappointing and a surprise to a lot of people, right? If not the country. So, nonetheless, Texas got the win in overtime, and they went to play here against Ohio State, but they just did not look like a team that was kind of like going through, like they were really struggling, right? The run game had not been good. And there were times where the run game looked good. And then there was times like, man, what is going on here? We cannot run, cannot protect Ewers, right? So going into this game, people felt like after what they had seen, wow, this just doesn't look very good. If you're a betting man, you probably would have bet on Ohio State, right, to blow out Texas. But I said, and I wrote all of the things that I'm saying here, but I said, remember, Texas is a very talented football team, and they are. They've got some talent, they've got some playmakers, and that's a very well coached football team. So those things are true, right? So even though Texas did not look like a team that was playing to its potential, we knew that that was still a very good football team and a very well coached football team. So going into Ohio State, what would take place? I said, we've got to run the ball. I felt like we had to run the ball, be effective to be able to win this game. I felt like the offense had to help the defense. The way that uh, Ohio State's offense had been, scoring, felt like, man, our defense, if you put them out there, three and out, they're eventually going to score. I felt like Arch Manning needed to be a part of the game plan. Not necessarily did he need to be the quarterback, but he can run the ball. And I think when he goes and when he's in the game, whether he's going to get the ball or not, but once he's in there, however you were going to utilize him, defenses have to worry about him. That's another guy that's added pressure to that defense. What are they going to do? It could open up something for somebody else just because you have to pay attention to Arch. So I wanted to see a little bit of Arch. I think he came in once, I think maybe in this game that I saw. So I just thought if you could implement them into the game, a plan necessarily, you could use them, not use them, but I thought that that would help out in other areas and other things that we might want to do. Just the fans, you know, thought what I thought that would help us out. But looking into this game, the defense played great. They took the one player that they needed to take out, which was the freshman Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State. One reception, 3 yards. That is absolutely amazing by this Texas defense. No one else had been able to do that. So the credit to that defensive coordinator and the defensive coaches and the players, he didn't get off at all. They took away the big plays from them, which kept Texas in the game. So as you started to see the game, Texas's defense started putting their stamp on the game. You could tell going in that second quarter, here comes that defense starting to play with confidence. They're confusing Will Howard. I think this is going to be a good thing for us. So things are starting to look up. It's a game that was within Texas's reach, which is I thought was a plus for Texas because Ohio State had, games were over by halftime, right? And this was not the case. So I thought, okay, I'm feeling really good about this. Of course, the offense still struggling with the run, but we're making plays. And so I want to go to the stats here real quick for Ohio State. Will Howard, 24 of 33 for 289 yards, one TD, one interception. Their rushing total was 24 carries for 81 yards total. Their passing was 24 receptions for 289 yards. Jeremiah Smith, of course, I said, one reception, 3 yards. So Texas was able to shut him down completely, which is what we needed to do. For Texas, Quinn Ewers was 23 of 39 for 283 yards, two TDs, one interception. Total rushing for the Longhorns, 29 carries, 58 yards. That's where I thought that we needed to get better at, and we did not. Once again, we struggled running the ball offensively. With only 58 total yards, but passing 23 receptions for 283 yards. So I would say both offenses were about the same. Will Howard, Quinn Ewers about the same. The rushing, the passing. So this was a very balanced kind of teams. Both the stats pretty much evenly for both teams. So it came down to mistakes. It came down to what team is going to be able to get the ball last and make a play, whether that be kick a field goal or score the touchdown. I thought Texas competed very well in this game. I thought they were very prepared for Ohio State's offense, the defense. So I'll give kudos to the defensive coordinator and the way the defense played, man. But the only thing I'd say about the defense was as we were getting momentum, I think going into halftime, because we knew Ohio State was going to get the ball back in the third quarter. I was feeling really good until that screen play and they were able to take it to the house. I thought that's something that usually doesn't happen, right? There's not that much time left. They're going to gain maybe 40, 50, 60 yards, but we're going to be able to tackle them. Worst case scenario, they'll kick a field goal, hopefully not. But I didn't expect a touchdown. So that was a real letdown. That was something I think that really hurt us as Ohio State wins this game. That's a touchdown and it really points that I felt they shouldn't have had. And so that was a big turning point in the game, I think, for Ohio State coming out victorious. And then at the very end, where we have first and goal, two pass interferences by Ohio State toward the end of the game, late in the fourth quarter, where Texas is first and goal, man, at the 1 yard. I mean, when you're first and goal at about the 1 yard line or so, you got to get the ball in. if you want to be a champion, you got to get the ball in. I mean, that's I mean, we can say whatever we want to say. We should have done this, should have done that. You got to get the ball in the end zone. The advantage, the odds are that you're going to do that. So they go inside first and goal. They don't get nothing. And I'm thinking, okay, we've got three more. Just punch it in. I mean, they've got to stop us three times. Obviously, we quarterback sneak. We put a package together. We've got three more tries to just get the ball in. We go to the outside, lose about 7 or 8 yards, makes it very, very difficult. I think the big thing there was the confidence that Ohio State had now. I think Texas lost a little bit of confidence when we lost those yardage. And then, of course, the pressure on Ewers, the hit, the fumble, and then the return back was huge. And that's when the game ended. I know that Quinn was able to come back later on and threw an interception, but I think by then, the game was definitely over. So, if you can't get the ball in first and goal at the one, you don't deserve to go to the championship, in my opinion. You have to get the ball in there. Championship teams do that. We didn't. I mean, the play calling, yeah, I mean, you could have done something different now. We can talk about that because it didn't work. If it works, he's a genius and everyone's happy. So there's questions on the play call. The way I look at it is, I don't know that I'm a coach. I do that. I think when you throw the ball inside the 5 yard line, it can be tipped and the ball goes up in the air and it's anybody's a ball. I think when you go to the outside, there's always a chance, like anything else, where it doesn't go right. I think when you're in first and goal and you got 3 shots, you just keep pounding that sucker in. I mean, if you can't get it in, pounding that ball from the 1 yard line in 4 tries, then you don't deserve to go. But I think that's the safest thing to do, whether that's a quarterback sneak, whether that's a putting a package in there where you run it down the right side with your big boys, you jump over. I mean, whatever you got to do, right? You're 1 yard away. You've got 4 tries. I think that's the better chance than going to the outside and taking a chance that they're ready for it and you lose yardage, which is what happened. But again, that's a fan talking. That's what I wanted to see. I'm not the coach. They plan for it. They put these plays in. They know when to run them. Sometimes they work, man. Sometimes they don't. It's easy to point the finger on a coach or on a quarterback and say, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. They lost us the game. I'm not going to do that. I think Quinn Ewer, to me, is a good coach, a good quarterback. I didn't know if he was great enough to get us there. I thought there was other quarterbacks that were better than him, in my opinion. But he was good enough to win us games, to get us in the SEC championship game, to get us this far. So I'm not going to say he's no good because obviously he got us there. So he did a lot of good things. Look, it didn't work out for us. I've seen enough football to know that sometimes plays work, sometimes they don't. Sark, well, he shouldn't have done this. He's a bad coach. He's not a bad coach. You call a play and it doesn't work, but he does a lot of great things in the short time that he's been at Texas. Look what he's done for the Longhorns, and I think we'll be right back next year. So, am I going to say that he's a bad coach? Absolutely not. I think he's a great coach. Didn't work out for us this year, but I'm glad he's the head coach of the Longhorns, and I expect to be back there again next year and win a championship, compete for a championship, be back in the SEC championship. I think we got a good shot to do that. And I'm not going to say that Quinn Ewers is a bad quarterback because I don't think he's bad. He just wasn't good enough to get us to the championship. But bad, put blame on him. Look, it's football, man. It happens. We should have been able to get the ball in there. We didn't. But the defense played good. They gave up one big play, right, before halftime. But that doesn't mean that the defense sucks. That doesn't mean to me that the defense is no good. They played a heck of a game, but they gave up a play that ordinarily should not happen. That's what happens in football. That's, I think, what makes football great to watch, right? Man, they do this, or man, they shouldn't have done this. But we came up short. I was definitely sad last night, still sad today. But I know my Longhorns are going down the right way. Last year, we made the playoffs. We were one game from the championship. This year again. So twice we've come up short. At some point, I think we're going to be, get into the door. We're going to get into the championship and win another one. It's sad, but I'm excited about where we're at. I'm excited about where the Longhorns are going. I think we got the right coaches in place. Our recruiting class is high. We got some good players coming back. So I'm looking forward to next year. Sad this year that we didn't make it, but man, oh, so close. And I think it hurts because, again, you're right there You almost think you're going to get the ball. I'll kind of close it out this way. When it's coming into halftime, the last thing you expect is for them to score on a screenplay. You don't expect that. And most of the time, it doesn't happen. It happened this time, right? So that was hurting. That was hurtful. You're driving down toward the end of the game, two pass interference. They give you the ball, I think first and goal at the 1 yard line or so. You're thinking, man, we're going to tie this game up. I mean, and why not, right? And it didn't happen for us. Two plays that usually go the way they're supposed to did not go. Give up the touchdown on the screen long usually doesn't happen. And then we usually score teams that are first and goal at the 1 yard line. It didn't happen for Texas. So, those are the two plays I think that really hurt us. And that's why our season ended and Ohio State is going to the championship game. So again, looking forward to next year. It was still a great year for the Longhorns. I'm proud of them, but sad that we lost this game. Definitely wanted to get into that championship and bring another trophy to Austin, Texas. We'll have to wait for next year, but I think the championship is going to be good. Ohio State Ohio State versus Notre Dame. I'm going to go for Notre Dame. I can tell you that right now, but it is going to be a tough task for Notre Dame, man. They're playing the best team in the country right now in Ohio State. And good luck to Notre Dame. I'm rooting for you, man. But Ohio State, they're going to be tough. I think Notre Dame's going to have to play their best game, and I'll come in during the weekday, and I'll give a preview of what I think Notre Dame needs to do to win that game, and what Ohio State needs to do to win the game. Again, it's just my opinion. So hopefully you guys will jump on. I'm pre-recording this, and I'll upload it to all my social media platforms: Gabe Sports Facebook page, Gabe Sports YouTube channel, Twitter page. You can catch them there, and then also on Spotify and Pocket Cast, so you can hear them there. So again, one more game before the college football season ends. We'll have NFL. We got games going on. I'm watching the Texans and the Chargers right now as they're playing, and I'm going to watch the later game. I'll come in tomorrow to recap these games and then preview the Sundays and the Monday games. So we still got a lot of NFL. Just started the playoffs today. And once the football season's over, we'll still keep going on Gay Sports. We'll have the NBA. We'll have some UFC. We'll have some boxing. I love talking WWE. I watch that every Monday and Friday. I watch the Saturday night. So there's a lot still to talk about. We talk sports all year round here on Gay Sports, but definitely for football, one more college game championship left, and then we still got a few weeks left in the NFL. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hope to hear you guys back. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know what you think on the comment sections, man. I'd love to be able to talk and go back with you with any of the sports fan. All of this is just in fun. I come out here to give you my opinion on what I think on the sports. I love watching baseball, basketball. I love watching football, college, and a professional. And then, of course, you got softball that's just around the corner. I love the Lady Longhorns, the Texas Longhorns softball. That's my team. So looking forward to another great season. So we'll definitely be talking softball as well as college baseball and so forth. So again, a lot of sports. I'll come on every day or every other day to kind of give you my thoughts on what's going on with sports. Previewing, recapping games, and also on the news, a lot of NFL coaches that were termed after this season. So next week we'll get into that. A lot of openings there for some NFL. We'll see, get your thoughts on who we think, or I'll give you my thoughts on who I think they should hire, and some surprises of some coaches that got fired after 1 year that I don't think they were treated fairly, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. But until then, I'm going to get back to watching some NFL football. Just want to come out here and recap a little bit of last night's game between the Longhorns and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Man, have a great night, great day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.